What's going on, guys? Ryan here with Jedha Patrol. Today we're going to be unboxing a lot of Game of Thrones. I dropped that. A lot of Game of Thrones figures. That's right, guys. Ryan here with Jedha Patrol. Welcome back to another video. In fact, this is another Game of Thrones awesome video. Really gonna be. If you didn't check out my last one, I did a huge Game of Thrones collection video. I'll put a link right there. You might want to check that one out. It's pretty amazing. But my friends over at Mcfarlane Toys were awesome enough to send me a care package. So thank you, you guys. You guys rock. And they sent me the new Game of Thrones Mcfarlane Toys action figures. I am super excited to have these. I have all of them. So we're gonna be taking all of these out. We're gonna look at them up close. And I'm pretty excited about this. But we got Jon Snow. That's the first one we got. We got Daenerys Targaryen. We also have Arya Stark. And we have Night King. And I think both of these are amazing. But that's not all, because I have this guy. And I don't know if anybody knows who this guy is. But we're going to open this one up too. So let's just get to it. If you guys are as hyped up about Season 8 of Game of Thrones as I am, you have probably been stalking these figures. In fact, I made a video like a month ago, like announcing these things. And then Mcfarlane Toys contacted me and said, hey, we want to send them to you. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. But we'll take a look at the packaging now. There will be another wave of these, okay? There will be more. This is just the first set, and just watch. It's gonna be cool stuff. So let's take a look at the packaging, guys. We got Jon Snow right here. The packaging is sleek. It does not, if you want to leave these in the package, it doesn't take up a lot of room at all. I'd say it's about 5 inches wide there, maybe a foot long or so. You can see they've got Jon Snow on the side. We got the dragons right there. We got the Iron Throne right there. And on the side, actually, if we flip it this way, there we go. So you got, this is the first wave. Jon Snow, Daenerys, Night King, Arya, and we're going to see the dragon, Icy Viserion right there. And honestly, these don't take, like I said, don't take up a lot of room. So if you want to keep them in package and just kind of stand them up like that, you can. They will. If you want to stand them up just like that, you can do that. That works too. Or you can hang them up like you're, you got a store. So depending on how you want to display these things, you can definitely do that. I'm just going to open it up because, that I just like to take stuff out of the boxes. So we're going to do this. Now, I will tell you, from what I can tell, there's no good way to open this thing up that you can actually put it back in. So once you've decided to open it, it's done. So that being said, I actually have yield knife, and I'm going to open this thing up. All right, fast forward a couple days, and I didn't have time to actually finish that part of the video at that day. That happened. So here we go. So that's why I'm wearing a different thing. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Let's get to the figures, right? All right, so we've got Jon Snow here. Now, interesting thing, all of these figures come with these little stands right here. I think these are pretty neat. You definitely need them. No question about it. It's just got a single peg, pegs on the foot. You need this. I'm just throwing that out there right now. Sometimes with the other Mcfarlane figures, like the Fortnite figures, you don't need this. For these, you need this if you want them to stand up very well. So one of the things I wanted to take a look at was the articulation. Now, in the video, you probably saw the close-up footage of what weapons it comes with. It comes with this piece of dragon glass right here in his hand, this hand, and he's got long claw right here in this hand. So let's talk about the weapons there for a second. The hands. Can we go there? Well, before we get to the articulation, let's talk about that. So the hands. Getting the weapons in the hands is a chore. I'm not gonna throw that. I mean, it's a chore because the hands, there's not a lot of play to get long claw in this hand, and the dragon glass not that big a deal, but the long claw to get in here, you can't actually get if you see the hilt like here, you can't slide it in. You actually have to bend the fingers back. Hoping you don't break them. You have to bend the fingers back, get it in there, and then bend the fingers back in. And so that was a little scary, not gonna lie, because I bent the thumb back on some and rotated it because it's kind of a flat piece and it was kind of difficult. Now when we get to Night King, Night King was difficult, but let's take a look at this. Overall, the sculpt, the paint is amazing on this thing for what it is, a 6-inch figure, and I mean, it's a very, very impressive shelf piece if you want to put it on your shelf. But going back to the articulation on this guy, it's interesting because he only has single joints. Now, with the last figures we saw from Mcfarlane were the Fortnite figures, which I absolutely love those things. The articulation on those is crazy. It's like 30 points or something crazy. Double joints everywhere. I mean, just awesome, right? These look like they were produced before they got the whole double joint thing going on. So we only have single joints on the elbow. So, and honestly, this one right here is a little, well, I guess we can bend it the other way. It's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. This one's, you're not gonna get on the elbow. This one's, it's kind of, that's about all I'm getting out of this thing. Now, if I really force it, I feel like I'm gonna break the peg. So I don't want to do that. And it actually, if I rotate it in, man, you're gonna get maybe almost 90, not quite 90 out of this. It does rotate at the shoulder, so we do have that, and the elbow. Learn some anatomy, dude. All right, so the shoulders right here, we do get a 360 out of the shoulder, right? If we want to go out here, we're only going to go up about there. That's about where we're going to get on the height. The shoulder joint does rotate 360, although that would be weird. If you tried that like on your own, that would be difficult. That'd be painful, I guess. I know there's probably some people that can do that. The hands, we do get the hands. They're gonna get 360 there. There's no wrist pivot, which I thought was interesting. There's no wrist pivot. It's like very slight, and it might be this armor's getting in the way of this thing, but there's really not a whole lot going on there. So we got that. Now, as far as the head sculpt, I'm pretty sure you can get 360. If you want to do that, you can get 360. As far as looking up and down, that's about as far as he's going to look up. As far as Jon goes, looking down, that's about it. But, I mean, what can you expect? He's got this hair in the back. He's got armor. Not a whole lot going on there. I will tell you that the actual armor is pliable. I mean, it is pliable. So it's not as rigid as I thought it was going to be. But there's definitely, in the waist area, there's no articulation whatsoever going on right there. If you can see that, there's none. Tilt or pivot there to side ain't happening. But I thought this was interesting, and I don't know if I included it in the last clip or not, but the hip joints are actually pretty good. So the hip joints, you can actually, on Jon Snow, this part is split, and so you can actually do, look at this, check this out. Now you wouldn't think Jon's this limber, but no joke, you can actually do like splits with Jon on his hips. So I don't know if that was a design thing, but here's the joints, right? You got these joints. So there's actually pretty good articulation here in the hip joints. Again, with the knees, we're going to get single joints on the knees. That's about as far as a bend you're going to get, and that's kind of disappointing. So Mcfarlane, looking forward to the next wave when we actually get some articulation of these guys. But to have a knee joint that you can't even get 90 out of, we gotta kick it up a notch next time, guys. Kick it up a notch. One of the things I definitely want to talk about, if I can get this one going back the right direction, that'd be awesome. Were the ankles. Now, I've noticed the ankles on every one of these figures has been they've been a little iffy. They've been a little loose, especially Arya. Arya, I have her. We'll look at it here in just a second. But Arya's joints are definitely tough. She doesn't want to stand up very well, even with that base. So we do have, it goes up, it goes down, not a whole lot. But the problem I've found with, at least with Arya, we'll get her in a second, is it's not the joint's not tight enough, and so she wants to fall over. She wants to actually lean forward. So there we go. But as far as the shelf presence, guys, very, 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 very well done on Mcfarlane's part on Jon Snow. It's a beautiful figure. I just wish the articulation was up to par with the appearance, like the aesthetics of it. I think it would be even better. So I'm looking forward to Wave 2, but let's go ahead and get on to the next one. Let's look at Daenerys. Again, Daenerys is going to come with the same stands. We got that one, and here she is. You can check her out right here. Now, I'll tell you, the detail on this one it's phenomenal. I mean, it really is. It really is phenomenal. Really, really like this figure. You can see throughout the hair mold, I mean, the details on it it's pretty awesome. And the interesting thing, like the hair mold is not, again, it's not as rigid as you'd think. There's actually some flexibility going on with the hair mold. There's flexibility going on with this little over cape coat cloak thing. I don't even know what that thing is. I don't know what it's called, but it's flexible, which is nice to see. As far as the joints go, again, we're going to get 360 out of the shoulders, all right, and then again single joints on the elbows, so that's about as far as we're going to get on the elbows. And again with the wrist pivot, again, these are all have the same articulation, so there's not much to show difference. And the only difference on her is because she's wearing this this dress thing, you're not going to get any waist articulation. Hip and leg joint wise, there is a split in the dress here, but I would say this one is going to go with pretty much what we call a museum pose. That's pretty much her pose. This is the pose you're going to get. You can move the arms left to right, whatever, you can do that. But as far as the legs go, that's what you're going to get. So if you're wanting some kind of different type of pose, which I don't know what kind of pose you'd put Daenerys in, because this is pretty much how she looks in the series. I don't know. I mean, she's not like jumping off cliffs, and I guess if you wanted her to ride on top of a dragon, that ain't happening. But I think you're going to sacrifice some of that for the appearance on this one. I think the paint apps are good. The eyes look good. The cloak looks amazing. The tailoring looks great. I think these are very cool figures, but she does come with a couple pieces. If you remember when her and Tyrion are kind of laying out the maps, we get these little chess pieces, I guess chess pieces, war pieces, and they're pretty cool. We got a little horse thing going on there. We got a little, yeah, I mean, you can see these are really tiny. She can't really hold these in her hand. So these are more or less like companion pieces, I guess, if you had like a game table and for a 1/12 scale, and you had these on there laid out like that, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe we get a Tyrion and they can, map out some battles. I don't know. But overall, I think it's a pretty cool figure. I think we need to move on to Arya Stark. All right, so let's take a look at Arya again with the base. Now, I'll tell you, she absolutely needs this, because my figure, this joint right here on her right foot, wants to lean forward quite a bit. Like, it doesn't want to stay flat. It wants to lean. So even on the base, which I'll stand up for pictures, she was doing like the Smooth Criminal, Michael Jackson. We know they had the foot peg and they leaned way out. She's doing the Smooth Criminal deal. Like that's what she's doing. Maybe she's a Michael Jackson fan. I don't know. But overall, guys, I think this is really cool. I was a little worried about the sculpt when I first saw some promo shots of this one about the face sculpt on Arya. I think it's pretty good. It's better than I thought. And I think that comes down to the paintwork on it. I was a little worried about the face being a little wide for her character, her actress. But I think it actually turned out pretty good. Now, you're not going to get a whole lot of articulation out of the head looking up, because she does have longer hair in the back, so that's not going to happen. Again, shoulders-wise, you're going to get 360 out of the shoulders. Same 90-degree bend on the single joint elbows. But we do get a couple weapons. We get Cat's Paw, if you can check that out right there. Very cool. And we do get Needle, which is awesome. And I'll tell you, both of these weapons are sculpted well. They're painted well. I think they're very well done for what they are. But if we look at her clothing outfit, it's I'm telling you, the detail they've got on these, the paintwork, the screen printing, the textures, they just did a really, really good job on these things, and I'm glad they did. Now, because her outfit is actually split at the waist right here, you actually are going to get a little bit of articulation out of Arya that you're not going to get out of the other characters, so that's kind of nice. I guess she can do the 180 there. That's weird. Let's not do that. that's kind of creepy. Again, we're going to get 90 degrees out of the knees, and then we're going to get that peg ball joint here on the foot. So the ankle, again, is the weak point in this particular figure. You can get her in some decent poses because she doesn't have that long outfit that Jon and Daenerys have, but I think overall, I think this is a very cool figure. So that's Arya Stark. Let's take a look at the Night King. Now, the Night King is probably the most detailed figure out of all of them, maybe battling Jon Snow a little bit, but the actual tailoring on Night King, the face sculpt and the paint is by far my favorite character that McFarlane's done in this line, and the detail is crazy good. For a 1/12 scale figure, it is a flipping amazing. I mean, it really is. And for the money, the value of this thing, I mean, look at the tailoring on this thing. The sculpt is amazing. The paint's great on the tailoring and on the body. It's a fantastic figure. I'm really, really happy with this. So we do have two weapons with this one. We've got his little spear thing. I think this is what he took down Viserion with, which was sad. And then he's got his little battle axe chopping sword. I don't know what you call that thing. It's made out of ice. What's the ice weapon called? I don't know. Comment down below and let me know, because I'm sure somebody out there knows the answer to that. I don't know what it's called. But what I was talking about earlier with the hands, I was actually afraid to... I thought it was going to break the hand on Night King because of the width of these particular weapons he has and the hand. So you can see right here, let's see if I can get this right here. You can see the width of that hand and then the weapon. So I actually had to bend this particular thumb back a pretty good ways, get my finger in there, pull the other fingers back and get it in there. And the thumb, I literally thought was going to break off. It didn't. So it's very durable. It didn't do that, but I thought it was going to break off, and I was a little worried about that. So I'm not sure how they can deal with that on the next wave. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that, but that is something to be careful of when you're inserting the weapons into these hands. Just something to be mindful of. I don't know how how they would remedy that. But hopefully they will. So in Night King, we do have, again, his outfit is separated at the waist, so we do have a split there. He does get a little articulation there. His outfit is split down the side, just like Arya and Jon, so you can actually get a little bit of bend on there, but again, you're going to get 90-degree single joints on the knees and not a whole lot of going on the ankle. So if we had to look at all these things together, we got to work on that articulation. The sculpt is amazing. The paintwork is next level. I mean, it really is. For this scale figure, these are flipping amazing. We just got to work on that articulation. Now, the one I know everybody's excited about are the dragons, and by far, these are my favorite. These are the ones I'm looking forward to. We have the first one is Icy Viserion. We do have Drogon up for pre-order, and if you want any of these figures, guys, I've got links in the description below where you can get them on Amazon if you like, but they are available in Targets and other places as well. But if you know, Amazon's got that free shipping thing. There you go. All right, so anyways, the dragons are amazing, absolutely amazing. The first one we're going to get is Icy Viserion. You can see the detail on it is next level. The sculpt on it is amazing. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It is amazing. Now, it is not in scale with the other figures. It is not a 1/12 scale dragon. So that's one of the things I thought when they were releasing them. I was expecting something humongous. And we didn't get that. We got this. Now, the idea is good. The sculpt is good. The paint is amazing. I just thought it would be amazing to get a 1/12 scale dragon. Even if that dragon ended up costing like $50 or $60, I think it would be worth it for them to make to be in scale with these other figures. So this one right here is $25, and which is a good value for what it is. But articulation wise, it's got a little more going for it than the figure. So on the let's look at the head. On the head, we actually have a joint here and we have a joint here where you can actually get some movement. So you can rotate the head right here. You can rotate that and at the head. So we got a joint here at the neck and then a second one at the head where you can have him looking up or down or however you want to do it. It's not going to go crazy up, like that's as far as it's going to go up, but looking down, you can go down and you can get some tilt to the side, like he's, you know, kind of going down there. So that's pretty cool. On the shoulders now, mine are a little different depending on which side you're looking at. So if I was looking at one of these sides, this one right here, the right side, I can actually have a pretty good, let's see if you can see this. It actually goes way down here, and then this one goes, let's see if we can get this going. You hear it pop on that one, so one side like had a ratchet, and the other one not so much. But you can actually have them collapsed, which is pretty flipping cool, not gonna lie. But I think most people are gonna have them like way up here, looking as large as you possibly can, and going like this. Now, one of the things I thought was interesting is one of the joints, I was able, actually it was this one, I was actually able to rotate the wing. So like this, see this? I was actually rotating the wing. This one, I thought I was gonna break it if I tried that. So this joint's a little too tight for me to, yeah, I was afraid I was gonna break it. So maybe if I heat that up, I can actually get some more movement out of it. But if you wanted to have like, you could have them going in like, you know, like if I had them both going up, that'd be kind of cool, right? But you can't do that right there, so that's kind of interesting. There is a peg down here on the sternum here where it has a display pole. This little black end goes in here. I just dropped it, don't worry about that. But the black end goes there, and then there is an ice base right here. It sits on there. And it definitely is cool like that because you're not going to stand it up without that. I mean, like just on the tape, you're not going to do that. It would be less impressive. The back legs do move. You do have some articulation there on the back legs, so you do have that. There's no knee joints. It's just a single pivot there. Nothing crazy going on there. And then on the back here, we do have some articulation in the tail. So the tail's actually broken up into several segments. So you can have the tail going way down there, and then you can kind of rotate it however you want to do there. So you're not going to get a whole lot going on there. This is just where they connected the tail and put it together. But it is nice to have a little articulation there and a little bit up. So if you wanted to have him in kind of like almost a landing pose kind of thing, you would have him something like, maybe something like that, like he's coming in to land, right? So I think these are very cool. So, you know, overall, I'm really happy with these figures. Again, I'm looking forward to Wave 2, and I'm looking forward to some improved articulation on these. But guys, comment down below, let me know which one of these is your favorite. Have you picked these up? And if you have, you know, let me know your thoughts on this. My thoughts are simply this, if I had to wrap this thing up, is they look amazing, they don't articulate amazing, and I'm looking forward to Wave 2. But honestly, I'm excited to have some cool stuff. I mean, who doesn't want a dragon? It's amazing. Guys, as always, collect what you like. We'll see you next time.